Hey everyone, welcome to day one of the Menopause Kickstart. Go ahead and put in the chat where you're coming in from. You can say hi, any questions that you have, and we'll start in about a minute to let more people get here. And I want to honor your time to be done in 30 minutes. So we'll start right away. Oh, okay. All right, Mary, sorry. I don't know why. Oh, everyone. Okay. Um, okay, hold on. Try it now. Goodness, this is the first time I'm trying a webinar, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not a disaster. Okay, let me put this back in. I'm putting the editable workbook in there too for you. There you go. Um, Let me know if it works. If not, I'll play with it for tomorrow. Okay, I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to look at it. Hmm. Gotta love technology. But you do see the worksheet. Okay. Plus, I'm going to send it out in the email after I get the recording. I'm also going to be putting the link to the editable worksheet. I totally forgot to make it editable until just a little bit ago. Um, so hey, Rochelle, I'm doing a webinar, so I won't see you and you can't see each other. The chat evidently is not working, but the Q&A is. So I'm gonna get started so that way I can finish on time. Okay. So I just hold on. All right. So I want to thank you all for being here. I'm so excited that you're here today. Um, if the chat was working, I'd say put your name in there and where you're from, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. But I wanted to share something with you before we dive in. Like many of you, I have been on the menopause journey myself. It's been frustrating. I remember, standing in my closet crying because, nothing wanted to fit right. And even though I was eating what I thought was healthy and staying active, and the weight just slowly keeps coming on, especially in the middle, the fun part. And so, yeah, your body feels like it's not playing by the old rules anymore. And so, and what really hit me was even as a certified nutritionist and menopause coach, I discovered that this issue goes way deeper than just eat less, move more. Our bodies are going through complex and interconnected changes. So, what happens in one area of your body, it affects multiple areas. And what worked in our 30s and 40s simply doesn't cut it anymore. It's not just about calories or willpower, it's about understanding how hormones, metabolism in our bodies are fundamentally changing. And I know how discouraging it can be because I live it every day still. Even as a health professional, and going through menopause, some days I just want to give up and be like, throw in the hat. Like, why? Why keep, trying? But here's the thing. Having this experience has is what drove me to dig way deeper and to understand the unique nutritional needs of our changing bodies and to discover what really works during this transition. So that's why I am super passionate about it. You may see it in my posts online. And everything I'm going to share with you over these 3 days comes from both my professional experience and my own personal journey. And I've tested these approaches not just with my clients, but also with myself. I am my own like guinea pig for all this. And so what's going to make this kickstart different is I'm not going to overwhelm you with massive lifestyle overhauls. So we're going to focus on small strategic tweaks that create that ripple effect in our health. So think of it like when you drop a pebble in a pond. One small change can create waves of positive impact. So, but just to be upfront, in these 3 days, I'm not going to be able to magically solve all of our symptoms, right? But what I will do is equip you with the key strategies that can make an immediate difference in how you feel. You'll experience firsthand how personalized nutrition can transform your menopause journey. So today's focus is all about stabilizing your blood sugar, the foundation of hormone balance. One thing I learned in all my training is that insulin resistance goes up during menopause. And we're talking perimenopause, the year of menopause with no period, and then postmenopause. So it's pretty much half a woman's life. And your blood sugar issues go up. And that I didn't realize until I was really digging into the science behind it. Um, so don't forget, you can grab your workbook too. I put it in, it was in an email, but it's not editable. And then it's in the chat that hopefully you can see and download. If not, it will be in the email with the recording that I send out in about an hour or so. So today, we're talking, about blood sugar, and it's like you're on a roller coaster if you're not familiar with blood sugar. And that's what your body's going through when your blood sugar isn't balanced. So, like, you climb up high with that morning pastry or sugary coffee, but then all of a sudden you're crashing down, leaving you tired and cranky. And then you're reaching for more sugar to start that cycle all over because sugar is addicting. There's something in it that plays with our mind and it makes it very addicting. So now here's what makes this especially tricky during menopause because it affects us different than non-menopausal people. You're changing hormones, and because of the drop in estrogen and progesterone, they actually impact how your body handles sugar. It's like your body's sugar processing system is getting an unwanted upgrade, and it's not the good kind, okay? So this is why you might experience those intense afternoon cravings for anything sweet or carb heavy, the overwhelming fatigue after meals, and of course, that stubborn weight around the middle that just won't budge. Okay, but here's the good news. I have a simple solution I call the protein fix, and here's why it works. When you eat protein within 30 minutes of waking up, you're essentially giving your body a steady foundation for the entire day. And think of it like building a house. You need that solid foundation before anything else. So, let me share some real world examples of what this looks like because it's easy. A lot of people, you'll see people posting out there go, just eat more protein, and then that's it. They leave you high and dry. So what this could really look like is 2 eggs with half avocado and a slice of whole grain toast. Okay, you want the whole grain because you need the complex carbs. We don't want to avoid carbs in menopause. We need those. Actually, everybody needs carbs. Um, when we avoid eating carbs, our body gets our energy from carbs. That's the number one source. And when we don't eat enough carbs or we eat the wrong carbs, like sugary carbs, the body has to go to the protein for the carbs. Well, the protein is what builds our muscle mass that we're losing in menopause. So if you're not eating carbs, but you're eating protein, well, the protein can't help your muscles because now the body's using it for energy. So it's that vicious cycle. So you want to make sure you eat complex carbs. It helps your brain too. We need that energy up in our brain. So the whole grain toast is something that's super important. Another option is a cup of Greek yogurt with a tablespoon of chia seeds and a handful of berries. If you can tolerate dairy, I can't. I miss yogurt. But yeah, they have so many now that you can get a ratio yogurt that has like 20 or 25 grams of protein in one container. My husband eats those. So you've got like a meal right there, and you don't even have to worry about making something. And a smoothie. You can do that with a scoop of clean protein powder, like a handful of spinach and a tablespoon of almond butter. I make smoothies every morning. I actually prepare the powder for like a week. I have silver, like little bento boxes that are round that hold like about a cup. And I mix 4 different types of protein powders. I have a chocolate, vanilla, a peanut butter, and then unflavored. And one scoop of each is about 10 grams of protein per. So the whole thing is about 40 grams of protein. And then I add, I can put fruit in there, or I have like a nootropic powder that is for energy, and and it's flavored, so that's my fruit. Um, or my matcha tea I put in there. And I have it ready. So in the morning I go downstairs, make my smoothie. I put a little bit of my homemade oat and cashew milk in there, and the rest is water. And then I go back upstairs and I work out, and that's what I drink when I work out. And it's 40 grams of protein, like first thing in the morning. So it's super easy. I prepare when I used to work full time, I would prepare all my lunches the night before as soon as I got home. So then that way I didn't have to worry about, especially my protein shakes. It's 4 different containers. So that's like a kind of a pain. So that's why I do it like at one time to save time and makes it a lot easier. Um, and then yeah, you can add almond butter or spinach. And if you don't like spinach or anything, but when you put them in smoothies and things like that, you don't taste them because it's a small amount and you got the chocolate or whatever flavored protein powder to cover it up. Even my matcha tea, which is kind of bitterish, I put it in there and you couldn't even tell it was in there. Um, but some of you may be thinking, well, but I've always just had toast with jam, or I usually skip breakfast. Okay. So here's why those habits are working against you. Okay. So we're going to make this super practical. So right now, if you have your worksheet, if not, if you have like a piece of paper, or your notes app on your phone, whatever works, you're going to think about tomorrow morning because we're already past breakfast today. Hopefully, you've already eaten breakfast today. You're going to think of which of these protein-rich breakfasts could you actually see yourself making. And if you're usually rushed in the morning, the smoothie might be perfect, like for me, because you can prep it the night before. I used to do that when I was still teaching full time. I'd actually make my lunch, and if I made a shake, I would make it when I got home and put it in the fridge. And then it was cold and it was ready to go the next morning. So when I got up, got ready, and I just put all my lunch together, I didn't have to worry about messing around with making it. Because that's kind of what throws us off our habits is the time. Like we want to do everything right. And then when life gets in the way where it's too busy, we just say, nah, it's not worth it. I don't have time for it. So by prepping, it definitely helps. Um, And so here's what you're aiming for breakfast. 20 to 30 grams of protein. That might sound like a lot, but here, I'll give you some examples of why it's not as much as a lot of us think. So 3 eggs gives you about 21 grams of protein. Um, 3 large eggs or 1 large egg is about 6 grams of protein, so that's 18. If you do extra large eggs, that's what we get. That's about 8, so you're right in between. Um, 1 cup of Greek yogurt provides 25 grams right there. So whether you buy the big container or the little ones already done, there's a meal right there. And then, like I was talking about the protein powders, if you do like, say, just chocolate and you do your 2 scoops, that's about 20 to 25 grams of protein right there. So, um, you can easily get it. You just knowing where to look for it. And like the key is making this sustainable. So I don't want you to feel like you need to be perfect. You just need to pick one protein-rich breakfast that feels doable for you. Okay, nothing super hard. Stick to the foods that you already eat and you like, but just make it more protein. Because that is what is gonna keep your blood sugar steady. When you eat the carbs with the protein, it processes it slower, so you're not spiking your sugar as much. And I've learned this. My husband's been type 2 diabetic for gosh, almost 9 years. And so he had one of those glucose things that he wore, the continuous monitoring one, and so he could watch and like he likes bananas and he'd eat a banana and oh my gosh, his blood sugar would spike way up. And so we started pairing it with protein. Like we have pistachios or walnuts or nuts that we snack on, and so he would like eat the banana and then he would eat some protein with it or just a spoonful of peanut butter or something, and he noticed that it didn't spike as much. Oh, did the chat finally? Oh, that's the question. Okay. So then it didn't spike as much. And that's one thing that diabetics are told is to pair those together, or they should be told, because it prevents your sugar from spiking. Because when you ate the banana, that sugar went up and then it dropped quickly, and then that's when you start feeling terrible. Yes, my protein shake is coffee and chocolate. Yes, okay. When I was teaching full time, I would well, I drank way too much coffee. I had a coffee pot in my classroom. I know I shouldn't have. And I would drink, I have a 20-ounce like coffee, kind of like a coffee thing like this. I drink four of those throughout the whole day. I know, too much. But my first one, I'd make it at home with the coffee at home, and I would put, like Mary said, a couple scoops of my protein powder, or at least one in there. And that would give it like a mocha, coffee kind of thing. And then, yeah, I would drink it right down. So, yeah, that's the easiest way. Like, make it work for you of what you're gonna like. So this is all this. I don't ever like force like meal plans or different foods on people, but work with what you like and give you those other alternatives that will help you like increase your protein. So yeah, that's perfect. I can't do dairy, so I make my own milk because I can't do dairy. I stopped eating cheese for like 2 weeks, like years ago, and all of a sudden then I couldn't have anything. So but I make my own like cashew and oat milk. I have a little machine I got years ago. So but yeah, so just find one breakfast. So Mary, you seem to be set, but you could always have an alternative or a backup, too, to use. Um, and I know eggs are always, they're good. They get blamed a lot for cholesterol. They are a little higher in cholesterol, but our body needs cholesterol, especially in menopause. We need cholesterol to regulate our hormones. However, just like anything, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So yes, if you have super high cholesterol, that's still not a good thing. Um, because that can affect your heart, but you definitely our body produces cholesterol anyway. But yeah, eggs are always great to, hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs if you like eggs or aren't allergic to them or anything. Um, but so yeah, so you could take like 5 minutes tonight to set yourself up for success for tomorrow, or just start jotting it down so that and it takes a while to build that habit of doing it the night before, or just having it prepped like I do within my container, and then I make it in the morning, but it saves me a lot of time. And um so yeah, so and the protein fix is just about one piece of this puzzle, okay? Um we're definitely going to be talking about something, tomorrow that is, hydration. We don't think that much about hydration, but it definitely it not only impacts our mental health, um, but it plays a big part in our hormones, for sure. Um, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of research into hydration, and it definitely um if your mood ever starts to get, out of whack, make sure you're drinking enough water. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And get some sunlight too in the morning. Um, but yeah, so on your worksheet, it is, we're gonna recap today, and I'm gonna try and share. Let's see if this works. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I love technology. Hold on. And yeah, if you have any questions, oh wait, there's more. Okay, hold on. Why is stuff not working here? Okay, where's the questions? Okay. Um, yeah, that's fine, Mary. Yeah, it's fine. Why is it important to have breakfast so soon after getting up? Okay, so back to hold on, let me. So the reason that you want to eat right away is um when you're not eating and you don't have that protein in you, it's your blood glucose starts to get out of whack, and then in the long run, it's messing with your hormones in menopause. But just in general, people that are having insulin resistance, um, you want to um, you want to eat so that your body is not, going up and down with trying to figure out, well, where's because your glucose naturally rises in the morning, and if you're diabetic, it's already actually higher. And so you want to get that protein in you to stabilize your blood sugar because, like I said, in menopause, our hormones are affected more by the insulin resistance. So um, your body is doesn't handle sugar the same way as we get older. So by skipping meals, that's why they talk, people fast a lot. Um, and fasting is not, I don't recommend it for menopause at all because you're not getting enough of your macronutrients, like your proteins, your fiber, and your carbs and healthy fats. Like, oh my gosh, we need healthy fats. And when you only eat within an 8-hour window, a lot of times you're not eating enough. So you're under eating, which hurts menopause. Or some people overeat because they're so hungry that they eat way too much. So it just defeats the whole purpose. Um, the working out, yeah, I think that is like personal preference. Like, I drink my shake while I'm working out, but I also am not doing like heavy cardio. Like I'm not jumping and doing that. I'm doing my strength training. So it's like a slower pace. I think whatever works for you. They do say for insulin resistance that if we want to get really into macros, half of your daily amount of carbs that you need, like 25% should be eaten like before you work out, and another 25% should be after you work out. So like 50% of your carbs for the day are like in the morning. So I mean that, yeah, it can get really technical. But I think it's personal preference. If you don't feel like if you feel weak, like I work out in the morning, if you feel weak, then yeah, you should probably eat. If you're going to be going jogging, I don't know if I'd want to be running on, like eat and then go running kind of thing. So it just depends on what you're doing and your cardio. Okay. And Mary, my husband and I, we eat the same thing. I don't have to make anything different unless it's stuff that he doesn't like that I like, or I don't, we eat the same thing because diabetics don't have a special diet. They just have to eat whole food. They don't have to eat certain things. My husband started eating a salad, which he was never a veggie person. He started with iceberg lettuce, which is literally full of water. But it was a big jump for him. And then he moved after a couple years, he eats spring mix. So now he eats a salad before every meal. And then we just like grill chicken or like have salmon. He'll get turkey burgers, turkey hot dogs he'll eat. We just get more of the healthier stuff. And he needs to eat carbs. Diabetics need carbs. That's the thing. People are in that whole frame of mind of you need carbs. When my husband found out he was diabetic, he ended up having a saddle pulmonary embolism in his lungs. And so he ended up in ICU, and that's when they discovered he was diabetic. And so the dietitian at the hospital was like, eat 75 carbs per meal for a man, for him. And really, yeah, I eat my macros. I probably eat about 140 grams of carbs a day, but you got to eat the right carbs. You can't eat like cookies and stuff like that. You got to eat like the whole grains, the whole, vegetables have carbs. Like he really needs carbs because his energy, when people don't eat carbs, they're hurting their body. So he really does need carbs. Um, but it's hard. A lot of people still have that old mentality that we got to cut out all carbs, and you're doing more damage to your body when you do that, unfortunately. And even diabetics and that need carbs. Because our bodies need it, our brains need it for energy. And like I said, we're damaging our muscles when we don't eat carbs because the protein is that's supposed to build our muscle is now going to the energy because you're not eating carbs. So then you're having muscle loss. So, um, okay. Um, oh no, you're fine. I was close to being done, but it does go into blood sugar because that's what we're really talking about today is like the blood sugar. So, and I'm always talking about diabetes because of my husband too. So, but I mean I've kept myself from getting diabetes because I had gestational diabetes. So I was high risk of getting diabetes after having it twice with both pregnancies. So I have been I have been like aware of this. My daughter will be 29. My oldest daughter will be 29 in May. So I mean, it's been nearly 30 years that I've been, trying to keep myself from not being diagnosed with diabetes. So this is something that is like close, near and dear to my heart. And then when my husband got diagnosed, um, but yeah, I mean, you can maybe slowly incorporate carbs for him. Um, uh, yeah, it really does. And I learned a lot of that, through all my macro training. So, which a lot of people don't realize. So that's why I'm like trying to share it. But yeah, so the blood sugar from today, yes, it affects like you don't want to get diabetes down the road, right? And diabetes is something that can be prevented or reversed depending on how, well, not type 1, obviously, if you need insulin, but it can be if done with the right nutrition and exercise. So, and the same for menopause. So we want to make sure we keep our blood sugar in balance, um, so that our symptoms don't get worse. And they don't call diabetes the silent killer for no reason. My husband had no clue he had diabetes, and it was probably at least a year. His A1C was 12.3. So, you don't know what's going on until the symptoms come, and by then sometimes it's too late. So, you just want to make sure that you're maintaining your blood sugar, and especially during menopause, just because it's the foundation of stabilizing, our whole day. So we don't want our roller coaster, of the proteins and things like that. So, and I know we've all probably felt a little bit of a like we've waited too long to eat, and all of a sudden, you feel like you're crashing and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, and hopefully I can fix the chat tomorrow better. We'll all look into that today. And then yeah, tomorrow. So get ready to learn how something as simple as water can be game changing for your hormones. Okay, so we'll talk about how so many women are chronically dehydrated during menopause and what to do about it. And yeah, we don't realize that we are dehydrated until you're like when you're thirsty and you're craving water, that means you're already starting to get dehydrated. So, um, and how it affects definitely menopause and for mood too, because our mood is very unstable in menopause with the drop of hormones. So this is definitely helping with the moods. Um, but everyone can drink water and help their mood anyway. So, but yeah, I definitely thank you for showing up today. You will get the replay in between in a couple hours in an email. I will also re-email the editable worksheet or workbook. And I will work on the chat to get it to work better tomorrow. So, thank you for joining and have a great day.